Hi everybody, I'm here to tell you about my SDAIE strategy. So first of all, I just wanted to give you a brief definition. SDAIE is specially designed academic instruction in English, and it's a teaching approach that allows ELL learners, English language learners, full access to key curricular concepts while their limited ability to communicate extensively or proficiently in English. So SDAIE is especially helpful as far as contextualizing the lesson, which that is the single most important feature of the SDAIE approach. Teachers using SDAIE techniques supplement the words that they use with alternative forms of communication. They do this by acting out their words, referring to pictures and charts and graphs whenever possible. They ask students to do many hands-on activities and to participate in games and role plays to increase understanding. Finally, students should be given the opportunity to show what they understand rather than always having to tell what they understand. So I'm going to be demonstrating that today in my lesson plan. But also I just wanted to let you know there's some additional information that I found in Classroom Instruction That Works, the second edition, that also said that English language learners know what they want to say to represent their thinking in their native language, but do not have enough information in English, enough knowledge of the English language to be able to communicate that. So non-linguistic approaches are recommended, such as graphic organizers, making physical models or manipulatives, generating mental pictures, creating pictures, illustrations, and pictographs, and engaging in kinesthetic activities. So for my lesson plan, first I'm going to start with predicting what will happen. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to ask them to look at this video that I'm going to be presenting to them, and ask them, by looking at the cover, what do they think this video is going to be about? By the pictures, by the title, and then I'm going to get their feedback on that. So that's what we're going to start with in our lesson. And then next, I'm going to show them some pictures of clocks so they can have an idea of different types of clocks. After the video, we'll be showing them pictures of a digital clock, analog clock, and another type of clock like a grandfather clock. So they are aware that there's a lot of different types of clocks. And next, I brought some realia for them to view. So I'm going to show them what they learned yesterday, which was digital clocks, and I'm going to bring them an example of that and ask them if they remember yesterday's lesson, and ask them for questions and feedback regarding yesterday's lesson. Next, I'm going to show them an analog clock and let them know that this is what we're going to be learning today, how to tell time using an analog clock. And so what I'm going to do is first demonstrate and model the lesson to them. So I made my own little paper clock here, and I'm going to be showing this to them and letting them know that they're going to be doing this today for a hands-on activity in their cooperative learning groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them know, and they've seen the video demonstrating how analog clocks work. I'm going to show them on the board a time. I'm going to list a time here, so let's say 2:30. 2:30. What does 2:30 look like on this clock that I made? So I'm going to move the hands around and let them know the little hand's going to be on the 2, and then the big hand is going to be on the 6. So it will look something like that. And then I'll give them another example and just list a few examples and ask for them to provide feedback as well. After that, I'm going to be using some flashcards so that they can also recognize times given in analog using flashcards. So I'll shuffle these around, have students pick one, and then they could pick like this time here. it looks like it did yesterday in their lesson, 1 p.m. So 1 o'clock, what does that look like? And I will go ahead and show them using the paper clock as well. And then I'll let them know that they'll be trying that later on today. Also, I'm going to let them know, okay, after we get in our groups, you're going to be doing a worksheet that I provided with a couple of examples so they could practice what they just learned. And then after that, they will be making a paper clock of their own, just like this. So I'm going to be providing them paper plates, little hands, and little tacks, and have them decorate it. And then we're going to practice that in their groups. So each of them are going to have a set of flashcards, and they will go ahead and shuffle those and take turns going around and practicing whatever card that they pull, whatever time they're given in the digital example, by showing it on their analog clock. So the way that I use this with the non-linguistic items here to contextualize the lesson is I used the video technology, the pictures that I showed them of the analog picture of a clock, digital, and the grandfather clock as well. And then we're also going to be using the realia, and I'll be modeling on my clock as I showed you. And then they're going to have kinesthetic activities to make their own clock and practice on their own. So that's the SDAIE lesson that I'm employing with them in my classroom. Thank you.